Okay, part three of the preview. Here, Obama's the Antichrist. Let's get back into it. I got to show you. I'm ready. I'm just on the road, screwed up right now. So, as we got into the blasphemies, we talked about the blasphemies, and they were very clear. And the blasphemies were mocking Jesus with his own words, the King of Kings, which is understood in Islam as the meanest name, the worst name you can say that you can call yourself. Because in the Antichrist system, all the leaders of the Antichrist system talked about in Daniel, their title were the King of Kings. So it's logical that Islam would say that because they don't know what's going on in the Most High's house. I see they're servants of Allah, servants of Allah. You see, and so they don't understand what's going on in the house of Israel and the house of Judah. So it's giving him to make war with us, and the war is against his saints, and the saints are only Israelites, as I stated earlier. It's clearly stated in Psalms 148 that this, all his saints, the children of Israel, are people near unto him. See? So we're the saints that the attack on the infants is aimed at and was successful in becoming law in 1973. And then Obama made it free to people virtually, other than the taxation that people volunteer to pay, that pays for abortions, let alone the billions and billions of dollars given to the abortion industry by Bill Gates and the Clinton Foundation and many other people. What's going on here? Obama was the best president. Obama is not an Israelite. A righteous Judge Snoop Jr., you want to come up here and discuss your blasphemies? Hold up. Let me find an invite link and make sure you don't want to double down on your lies now, brother. Bet you won't say that live. Now, let's get back on it, because I already know you're trolling. And you're lying for fun. You know, just to laugh. Well, see, now he continued to make war with the saints other than abortion. See? Look at Obama's wars here. This is clear as day. This is clear as day. President Obama, who hoped to sow peace, instead led the nation in war. That's what he did. It's obvious. Conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. He vowed to end America's grueling conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. During his second term, he pledged to take the country off what he called a permanent war footing. Our systematic effort to dismantle terrorist organizations must continue, he said in May 2013, but this war, like all wars, must end. That's what history advises. It's what our democracy demands. But Obama leaves a very different legacy as he prepares to hand his commander-in-chief responsibilities to Donald Trump. The Trumpets. U.S. military forces have been at war for all 8 years of Obama's tenure, the first two-term president with that distinction. He's unique. He launched airstrikes or military raids in at least 7 countries: Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya, Yemen, Somalia, and Pakistan. See? And that's how he got the little puppet in there in Afghanistan. And this is, goes back to the four-headed leopard that gave him dominion. That was his heads of the leopard. So he linked his allegiance to those locations and destroyed them in the process, because that's just what Satan does. He'll make you his friend for a second, trick you and lull you to sleep, and then kill you. Okay, so we already know that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And make sure I'm still streaming, because I go in and out for no reason at all, because I got to pay less internet. If the scourge slays suddenly, he will laugh at the trial of the innocent. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covers the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? See? If not where, who he? See? And we know who he is. He's Obama, the Antichrist. You'll find out when he gets a chance to rule again for another 3.5 years. You see? Now, you got this brother, Obama, evil twin brother Esau, who clearly deals with Marina Abramovich, the wickedy witch of the West. The wickedy witch. That's what she is. She's a witch. And proud to be a witch. And she thinks that spirit cooking is the most important information of our time. You got the brother, Obama, who on Sunday morning, the presidential vacation came to an end with the little baby. And that's what they do. And that's how they live. And so, moving on, you see in Revelation 13, he made war with the saints. And so I'm going to show you him making war with the saints, other than the clear war of the clear and obvious war of abortion. Hmm. That's interesting. Okay. Stole another $467 from me. That's fine. I'll clarify that information pretty soon here. All right. Now, as you can see, it says, with a sharp knife, cut deeply into the middle finger of your left hand, eat the pain. And that's what he did with his band-aid. The middle finger of his left hand. It's clearly shown there as well. That's the zoomed-in version. With a sharp knife, cut deeply into the middle finger of your left hand, eat the pain. 14 fish. Left hand, band-aid, middle finger. He has a band-aid on his middle finger, and he does as well. And she's probably 14. So, moving on, what you see is, with a sharp knife cut deeply into the middle finger of your left hand, eat the pain. You got a little baby in the corner with blood all over it. And this is a close-up of the little baby in the corner with the blood all over it. So, if you take a look at him making war with the saints, you have to refer to my vast knowledge of this information strictly on my Facebook page. And this is a video of witches and warlocks or Satanists naming babies and so forth and so on. So I asked the question, does your local social services also sell babies to Satanists for sex rituals and ritualistic eating of babies? There are dozens more, and these from her and her brother below. So now these these videos were also destroyed as evidence of her and her little brother's testimony. They're uh, late teenagers now and young adults now, but when they were children, they escaped from the sex rituals and the ritualistic eating of babies, where they confessed that they were forced to kill babies and cook them and eat them, forced to eat them. And everybody there at the parties had sex with these little kids, and they would have sex with the baby as well before killing it and eating it. So she made that very clear in about 40 different videos, and they were all taken down off of the internet because they were too incriminating, and that's what happened. And so she was forced back into her lifestyle and tortured into submission to say that she didn't mean anything she said. So now, why are his fingers so scarred? Hmm? Why? Hey, he does a lot of cutting of his fingers because he participates often. And so this is just a thing and highly weird. That's why they call it highly weird, because they found out all this information. So now in spirit cooking, here are some other recipes. Saliva of your lover mixed with morning dew collected from eucalyptus leaves. Cut with a knife deeply in the middle finger of your left hand. Eat the pain. Morning urine. Sprinkle over the nightmare dreams. Mix fresh. Make sure it's fresh now. Breast milk with fresh. Make sure it's fresh now. Fresh sperm milk. Drink on earth. Spin around until you lose consciousness, and then all the questions of the day to get all the questions of the day. Proof of the same mix with proof of your shall count before crying. Okay, so there's the little baby again. And another menu. See, this is just the stupidity that people go through. So you got this lady here was part of it, Chrissy Teigen. She fell victim to it. Gaga fell victim to it. Beyonce and Jay-Z inquired about it, but I think that they became spies against it, and just to expose it to the world, being the most famous musical uh, power couple of our day and time. So I'm pretty sure they did that to expose the information, and they were very successful. All right, so the reason I think that is because she made Marina. I mean, what's his name? Jay-Z made Marina Abramovich apologize to him for the photo op that they had dancing and stuff. So this is, just in case you thought this was just made up, that's Marina Abramovich from behind. And she's writing the recipe: mix fresh breast milk, make sure it's fresh now, with fresh sperm. She's writing it out in 1997. That's very obvious. So you mix it all together and then you drink it on earthquake nights. So this is what they think is the winning formula. 1 part breast milk, 1 part semen milk. They think that's how you win. So now, in the statue that you saw earlier, gave a representation of the feet of steel purposely as leopard feet because that's what it is. The feet of steel, which is iron and clay, is the leopard, the four-headed leopard with the 4 wings. And so this is the chemical composition of steel. And it's obvious that it's uh, iron, 60% iron, and then clay. The rest of it is clay, carbon. Carbon. See? 34% carbon. That's iron and clay. That's what steel is. That's why I call it the feet of steel. That's why you got the modern. That's why it's brittle and it's going to collapse. Well, as soon as the Israelites get smart enough to cause a nation by way of elections pursuant to Hosea 1:11. So now this is his campaign of the ministry of death. You got this dead scientist. You got 5 holistic health doctors found dead in 4 weeks. 5 more go missing. 10 people after run-ins with who knows. So that's the time. Remember when all those dead holistic doctors were waking up dead all over the world, including uh, who's the brother very known for healing or working with left eye. I forget his name, Doctor. You know that guy. And so here's the list of the dead scientists: it's Roger, Lynn, Gregory, Bradley, a bunch of lists of dead scientists that were uh, uh, advancing healing in our community, and they all died during the Obama administration. And that's going to happen again. Okay, so now before Obama's, let's see, let's see, here's a look at his body count here. Uh-huh, this is body count. Okay, so this is clear for body count. The following is a partial list of deaths of persons connected to Barack Hussein Obama during his time inside the United States. Read the list and judge for yourself. So let me enlarge this for you just a little bit. Right? So there's a bunch of people here that I like to focus on, but I'm just gonna pick some people randomly because I don't have my notes with me right at the moment. Jihad. Okay, so the author of The Jihad at the Ballot Box, a book examining Obama's relationship with radical Islam, died in a mysterious car crash in 2003. Sarah Berkeley. Russell McDougal, former FBI operative. January 23rd, 2007, McDougal was known to hold sensitive information about meetings Barack Obama had with arms smugglers. His wife was murdered March 2006 after he went public with his initial reports. His father died July 8th, 2006, 4 hours after McDougal presented his findings on the Savage Nation. Suffered administrative retaliation after reporting discussions by jihadist groups concerning Obama to his superiors. Okay, so there's a episode in here where Obama talked to the radical Islamists in Chicago and the organizations in Chicago in order to get support for his tyrannical efforts. tyrannical efforts. Okay, so Rodrigo Villalopez, a television news cameraman who shot the footage of Obama describing small town voters as bitter and clinging to their guns during the primary season. Remember that fiasco where Obama said uh, these voters are bitter and clinging to their guns? Yeah, that guy. Or was she? Let's see. Let's see. Uh, he died. And so Brian Goring, a defense attorney for Obama patron Antoine Resco during his trial for extortion and bribery. Antoine Resco was accused of extortion and bribery. He died. Uh, Brian Goring died of apparent natural causes, quote unquote. Huh, right. Mercedes Hughley, one of Obama's many white female conquests, while at Harvard, filed sexual assault charges against Obama for date rape in 1990. Because date rape was not considered a crime like it is today, she ended up dropping the charges. 2 years later, she was found dead of an apparent cocaine overdose. Right. These are all coinky-dinks in your world. I don't believe in coincidences. So now, if you take a look at him, it says try to determine how many of the people even exist. We're coming up cold blank on several so far, including the Sarah Berkeley, who wrote the apparent non-existent book, The Jihad at the Ballot Box, which is, you know, supposed to have tied Obama to radical Islam at some point during his career as an Illinois state senator. The best might be Darsano Rajojo, a guide who can say it isn't true. So that's what happens. These people are erased and they disappear. Tamika Hill, a former secretary of Obama's office in Chicago, was murdered July 6, 2005 at a rib shack in the South Side. Hill had spoken off the record with a reporter from the Chicago Sun-Times about meetings Obama had with black militants in the city. She was murdered before she could ever be properly interviewed. See what I'm saying? He went to the black militants in Chicago. He's not even from Chicago, has no ties to any of their families or organizations there. Yet he garnered support from them simply because he's a black dude. And he appears to be looking out for the community, which he's actually not at all. Hassad al-Shariz, he's an FBI informant, reported to his handler in January 2001 that he had a tape of a person named simply B. Hussein. I wonder who that is. Meeting with 9/11 hijacker Mahatma Atta in Prague. Was found shot in the basement of a mosque in Dearborn, Michigan in October 2001. You think these are coincidences? These are orchestrated hits in order to further the agenda of this little boy right here. See? And that's his prostitute mother that can only produce corrupt seed, corrupt, evil, disturbed, psychopathic, megalomaniac, Obama. Obama admitted to having megalomaniac tendencies in the interview with Oprah that he had this weekend. Darsano Rajojo, childhood classmate of Barack Obama, when he attended a madrasa in Indonesia. See, he went to school in Indonesia. I told you guys this, but you seem to believe that he was born in Hawaii. was found with his head cut off in a Jakarta, which is in Indonesia, alleyway in 1970. Many children at the school attributed Rahardo's murder to the young Barack Obama. The children at the school blamed Barack Obama. It was likely done as an initiation ritual, since Islam demands that a boy spill another's blood before the age of 10 to prove their loyalty to Allah. So that's what he did. So Reverend David Manning was the guy who preceded the Chicago Reverend of the Chicago church that he went to, Jeremiah Wright. Former head of Trinity Baptist Church in Chicago was murdered during the apparent robbery of a catfish restaurant in 1972. Shortly afterwards, Reverend Jeremiah Wright took over as head of Trinity, and many parishioners who later left the church suspected Wright in having a hand in Reverend Manning's death. But it was clearly Obama. Decades later, Manning's son, Jamal Manning, was found dead. David Manning's son, Jamal Manning, was found dead of an apparent crack overdose in 2004. Right. Who in the world can overdose on crack? It was rumored he was going to bring evidence of Wright's complicity in his father's death. See? His testimony was timed to coincide with Obama's first Senate race. We can't have that, can we? Christopher Hargrove, a former lover of Larry Sinclair, found dead in a hotel room of apparent autoerotic asphyxiation in January 2001. Right. Was said to have been enraged when he found out that Sinclair had cheated on Jackson with Obama in the back of a limousine. You remember that man that went to the public to protect his life, to preserve his life. So he spilled the whole beans about this information to the media everywhere. Oh, not him. Wait. Huh. Well, it was a white guy, a white lover of Obama, that sold Obama some crack in the back of a limousine that preserved his life by going to the media and letting everybody know that happened so that he wouldn't be killed. And if he would be killed, it would clearly be tied to him being a whistleblower and implicate Obama in that, and that whole FBI investigation would turn out to be successfully connecting Obama to that death. That's why he went public. But that's a different person than Christopher Hargrove, which is clearly a black homosexual male. And so Jackson planned to release digital pictures Sinclair had taken of the encounter on the internet. So he had took pictures of Obama and Sinclair having sex. And he was found dead in a hotel of apparent autoerotic asphyxiation. Right. Paul Rothschild is a Democrat National Committee political director found dead in a hotel room in Washington, D.C. in 2003. A friend and trusted advisor to senatorial candidate Barack Obama, dead of an apparent suicide. Right. Curtis Pookie Jackson, Chicago drug dealer, was the subject of a police investigation in which he was suspected of funneling money to Obama's many various community projects. Killed in 1998 in an apparent gang murder. Right. Harvey Kenyon, head of Obama's a senatorial security team in Chicago, gunned down in his car at a deserted intersection outside of Grant Park in 2005. Kenyon's son said his father was building a dossier on Obama. He allegedly threatened to reveal this information after he died. The files were mysteriously removed from his house. Sheila Ball, a Washington, D.C. madam, died from a gunshot wound. Reported to have a black book of people containing names of influential people who visited the prostitutes in her brothel. One of those names was allegedly Barack Obama. Right. King Sean Spoon Caldwell was found dead of an apparent heroin overdose. May 18, 1997, was reported to have ties to Reverend Jeremiah Wright. LaShawana Martin, 26-year-old mother of five, a Cabrini Green resident with a history of substance abuse, told two of her co-workers at the Blue Peppermint Gentlemen's Club that she would have to quit work because she was pregnant again. Strongly implied that the baby daddy was Barack Obama. Right. And next week, she was reported missing. Nobody was ever recovered. But LaShawana has not resurfaced since making those. Right. See, you guys think these are just coincidences. Bill Ferguson, senior aide to Obama, found dead of an apparent heart attack. Gandhi Amal, attorney of Obama friend Antonin Resco, died by falling out an 80th story window. He just fell out of an 80th story window. He just tripped and fell of the Hancock Tower, January 2003. His client was a convicted Chinese spy. Andrew Breitbart, on March 1st, 2012, died suddenly and unexpected of natural causes, possibly related to a heart attack. Untimely death coincided with potentially damaging release of Barack Obama's college years with known domestic terrorists and communists. All coincidences. Right. So, Mr. Howe, you got to get off. You got to concede. It's just too much information that Barack Obama is the Antichrist of Revelation 13, brother. Hussein etymology, the etymology of Hussein. We're getting into the good part now. Coming from the triconsonantal root HSN is an Arabic name which is the diminutive of Hassan, meaning good, handsome, or beautiful. Now, how is it that someone names themselves good when there is only one good, and that is God? Everybody knows that. So, uh, let me give you another body count of Obama right quick. This is Loretta Fuddy. This is the best one. Don't you screw up on me, internet. This is the best one. I don't want it interrupted at all. You understand me? Health director who approved Obama birth certificate dies in a plane crash where everybody else lived. The health director who approved the release of President Obama's birth certificate has died in a plane crash, Hawaiian officials said Thursday. Loretta Fuddy died after the Cessna Grand Caravan aircraft she was traveling on went down shortly after leaving Kalapopop uh, Airport at around 3:15 p.m. local time. You see, the other 8 people on board were rescued. You see, and so this is the lady who approved Obama birth certificate. So that's how we know that he was born in Indonesia. His name is Barry Sotoro. That's what the birth certificate in Indonesia clearly uh, states his name is. So now, if you take a look at here, she died at the height of the birth certificate inquiry by the whole world was trying to figure out that information. And he tried to act like he was disgusted by that because he didn't know himself that who he is. So, Ohio diner owner dead hours after serving Barack Obama. It's just more body counts. Everywhere he goes, people die. Ohio diner owner dead hours after serving Obama. You don't believe me? Just read it. A restaurant owner who served U.S. President Barack Obama breakfast on a campaign stop has died hours later. Josephine Harris, 70, who owned Ann's Place in Akron, Ohio, was taken to the hospital after complaining of fatigue and a tingling feeling. She went into cardiac arrest en route and was pronounced dead shortly after. Yeah, okay, that's what happens when Satan comes around. People faint, they die, and all kinds of stuff. So let's give you some more holistic doctors. Well, there was 83 of them that died. 83 holistic doctors. At this point, 83 doctors died during his presidency, including your boy. I'm pretty sure he's on one of these pictures. There he is. I'm looking directly at his face. I still can't say his name, but that's him. And so, his in this point, 89 had died. 89 holistic doctors died. Okay, right here. Mm-hmm. Make sure I'm still alive because it looks like it's struggling. 89th holistic doctor dies under suspicious circumstances, shot 5 times in front of her family. See, that's the 89th one. You see, these are all the people who were coming up with cures all over left and right, all over the place. Because he's at war with the saints, and the saints are only Israelites, bro. You understand? Those are the only saints. And so, moving on. Just imagine the number of Iraqi civilians that were killed in the Iraq War. You can't. There were millions of them. So that would be pretty much the end of this incredible story. Because these are just notes that I have to unscramble and place into the situation very clearly. But I guess it would suffice to read this last little bit. The South shall rise. The South shall rise again. And so this is a fallen statue of Albert Pike, and that is the school of thought that Obama derives from. That's along the same lines as the eugenics school of thought, where they believe that white people are superior to all other races. And so his goal, which Obama has adopted, is the Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the hmm, I got to get a clearer, find a clearer one here for you. World War III, Albert Pike. Yeah, I gotta get a clearer one for you because I can't really read that one. Okay, I'll definitely fix that when it comes time to present this formally. Okay, so now check this out. It says the Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences caused by the agenter of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of Islamic world. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arabic world, and political Zionists, the state of Israel, mutually destroy each other. Now, how stupid can you be to fall for such a dastardly uh a dastardly scheme? You got to be stupid. Well, I'm trying to tell you people this information so that you don't be stupid. Meanwhile, the other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to the point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economical exhaustion. That's what you're noticing. We're headed into the greatest um, economic depression we've ever seen. We shall unleash the nihilists and the atheists. See, the nihilists and the atheists. That's all they do all day long is bang on Israelites. And we shall provoke a formidable social cataclysm, which in all its horror will show clearly to the nations the effect of absolute atheism, origin of savagery, and of the most bloody turmoil. Then everywhere, the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization and the multitude delusioned with Christianity, whose deistic spirits, deistic spirits will from that moment be without compass or direction. Anxious for an ideal, but without knowing where to render its adoration, will receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer, brought finally out in the public view. The manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. So that's the goal of dummies. They like to take on this mentality. And so this is what Obama has done his whole life. And he's taken on this entire mentality and wants to eradicate Christianity and atheism in order to have the Zionists and Islam mutually destroy each other to where there is uh, pure and utter destruction worldwide. That's the goal of Obama. And so that's part three. I'll get into the rest of it whenever I do the formal debate. I missed Tuesday. I'm going to miss Saturday. And I feel terrible. So I just had to show that I'm ready. TTG, trained to go. And almighty at the same damn time. So now it's clear that Obama's the leopard in Revelation 13, and I proved it. Thanks for listening.